Hi everybody, Peter Greenberg here to answer all of your email questions about the coronavirus and travel. To remind you again, my email address is peter@petergreenberg.com, so please send those to me. Also, if you're near a radio station, you can listen to my CBS radio show called Eye on Travel. It's airing this weekend. Check your local listings for date and time and station. And if you can't get any information on that, that's easy. Go right online to our website. You can listen to it online streaming, petergreenberg.com, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday the 28th. Now let's get to some of your email questions. Is it true? Now this comes from Joy. Is it true that some airlines, and by the way, she's a travel advisor, meaning she's a travel agent, that some airlines have intentionally blocked us from being able to advocate for our clients to get their refunds on their websites? The answer is, I'm sorry, yes. Lufthansa has done it. The Sabre system has done it. They've really made it impossible for travel agents to access their own websites, which they do all the time, to file for a real refund for their clients. They're just going the voucher route. This is wrong. And so hold on to that, because remember, the airlines have been changing their refund policies almost by the hour. And now that they've gotten the bailout, and by the way, Lufthansa is going to get a bailout too. So are some of the United Kingdom airlines. So they can't get a bailout and at the same time hold your money. So watch this space. I think it's going to get better. Here's one from someone named Wing. My wife and I reserved round-trip air tickets from Chicago to Israel. We actually reserved them on March, returning March 19th. The trip was canceled about a week prior to the departure. Turkish Airlines did not give any refund on our tickets, but allowed us to reschedule the departure date with a fee of about $175. Here we go again with those penalty fees. Turkish Airlines should be ashamed of itself. However, we did not know when we would travel to Israel under the current crisis. Then the tickets were automatically canceled, meaning they didn't wait. Remember what I've been telling everybody? Wait for the airline to cancel the flight. Don't you preemptively cancel. So now you're not going to get your $175 back, and you'll spend a lot of time trying. But for everybody else who hasn't canceled their flight, please wait for the airline to do you the favor of doing it ahead of time. And then you can go for the full refund or a voucher without any change fees. And if you can't get that kind of answer and you can't get that kind of satisfaction, that's when you write me, peter@petergreenberg.com. I need your flight reservation information, your confirmation numbers, the date, the time, who you talked to at the airline, their first and last name, everything short of their favorite color, details, so I can help you, all right? Because we get a lot of letters like this right now, and we really do want to help. And by the way, in fairness to the airlines, they're losing so much money. They're desperately trying to preserve cash. In fact, in some cases, when they do offer vouchers, they're offering you a 20% premium above what you originally paid for your ticket in the form of that voucher. Now, some airlines are actually doing something I think is really, really nice. They're giving you 2 years to use the voucher. That also means they get to hold your money for 2 years. But given the state of affairs right now, it may not be such a bad idea. For some of you, it may make more sense with a voucher. You just have to figure out your own situation. Here's one from Mary Peachin. I bid on a catamaran trip out of Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. I took it having to book multiple flights and overnights. I booked 2 nights in the Puerto Rico airport hotel. They will only refund 1 night because they said the other night was refundable. The British Virgin Islands closed their border, and the airline absolutely would not give me a refund. I can use it in a year. I don't know if I'll still be diving at 79. I hope you will be. And if so, I would never be able to do it. I doubt that the airline will even be around. You know what? This is another situation where you need to write me with the actual details, with the airline reservation number and the hotel, and we will reach out to them directly. This is cruel and unusual punishment. All you did was follow their rules, and then you can't even get there. This is not your fault. It shouldn't be your responsibility. Here's one from Kay. I'm hoping you can help my sticky mess. My hotel reservations are not budging, it's for Barcelona. My friends and I booked 2 rooms for a 4-night weekend, and now we're regretting it. The cancellation policy is a $90 cancellation fee because we went through a broker. This is a good example of what happens when you book through a discount broker or an OTA, an online travel agency. They always become the middleman. They hide behind the actual provider and claim they have nothing to do about it. Well, they do. They processed your money. And you didn't cancel this. You can't get to Barcelona now. The European Union closed the border. So again, same advice, write me. What do you think of the idea of a government, this comes from Sean. What do you think of the government giving people an airline voucher which may be used on that airline or be sold, sort of like a gift certificate? You know what? Most airline vouchers, Sean, are gift certificates. You still have a year to use it, but you can use it to buy tickets for somebody else on that airline. Most people don't know that, okay? And if you're given a voucher, make sure it's not endorsed that it can only be used by you. You are the custodian of that voucher, and it's like a gift certificate. You can then use it within a year, okay? Here's one. This is from Demi Laughlin. I used Kayak and, of course, got the lowest price I could before booking my flights. Now that I need to cancel due to the virus, do I have a prayer to get my money back? Well, you haven't told me when your flight is. And remember my advice. Don't you cancel, let them cancel. All right? Look, there are no flights overseas that I know about, with very, very few exceptions, that are either not going to be rebooked or canceled entirely in the month of April and May. So just take a deep breath, no pun intended, but take a deep breath, relax, and let the airlines work their wonders as they themselves realize they won't be operating that flight to Barcelona next week. It ain't going to happen. All right, a couple more to go through here today. And remember, continue to email me to peter@petergreenberg.com with your name, your phone number, your question, your problem, and the details of your circumstances. Now, this one is crazy. I was going on a trip to Australia for a 6-week trip. 3 airlines are involved: Air New Zealand, Virgin Australia, and Delta. Only Air New Zealand has allowed changes to be made online, which was to give credit to be used within 1 year, with no change fees. This is what I expected from all 3, to be able to handle cancellations online. The other 2, after going through a whole long process online, said that you have to call to make changes. Guys, I've said this 100 times. I'll say it 101 times. You need to have a conversation. Try not to do this online. You need to talk to a human being who can think creatively, not linearly, who can actually answer your questions. This is not the time to just hit keystrokes and hope for the best. Even if you have to wait on the phone, wait. A number of airlines will actually have a system in there that they'll call you back at a specified time. But the bottom line is, talk to a human being. And if you should never take a no from somebody who can't give you a yes in the first place, that's my mantra. What that means is, if you're not happy with the first answer, wait about 10 minutes and call back. This has to be done at the human level with a conversation. It can't be done online, all right? I know we're all trained to do it because it's easy. We can do it at 2 o'clock in the morning in our bathrobe and we don't have to talk to anybody. This is the time. I'm sorry. I know you're not inclined to have a conversation. You need to have one. Here's one. Oh boy, this is from a travel agent who has 400 clients who are not getting refunds. Wow. You know who you are. Email me. I'll talk to you on the phone and let's see what we can do. It's getting worse and worse on this. But remember, just a little while ago, Congress passed the $2.2 trillion stimulus plan. I don't call it that. I call it the recovery plan. But that also is giving money to businesses to make sure they maintain liquidity and make their payroll. And if that's the case, we are no longer in the business of loaning money to airlines. There's a little known story called holdbacks, and I want to tell you about it because it applies to credit card purchases, right? If I make a purchase with my credit card for an airline or a hotel or a cruise line, and let's say it's $500. Okay, I use my credit card, they take the money, deduct their commission, and then transfer that money to the travel provider. That's the theory of it. Guess what? That's not happening a lot these days because the credit card guys are perceiving that some of these companies are in trouble. So they're holding back. So if I'm booking a flight for 5 weeks from now, that credit card company is saying to that travel provider or that airline or that hotel, we're going to pay you that money when Peter's flight takes off at the end of April. And that's the company that goes out of business in 3 weeks because they never got paid. See? And it's a terrible cycle. We're going to have to address that in a future video. But in the meantime, remember, listen to the radio show on March 28th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. online. You can do that at petergreenberg.com. Email me to peter@petergreenberg.com with your name, phone number, question, or problem. Stay safe, stay healthy, and try to stay sane.